What really struck me about the inauguration was that it looked meaningfully like what I would call an America First wardrobe on the entire Trump family, from the president's decision to wear what we believe is a Brooks Brothers overcoat and shirt to his swearing in, to his daughter Ivanka's choice of 3 different outfits by Oscar de la Renta, followed by Carolina Herrera, to Melania Trump's decision to wear what is effectively 4 different New York-based brands in a 24-hour period. You know, it was a real about-face for a family that during the campaign wore a lot of European brands. You know, there was a lot of controversy over who would and would not dress Mrs. Trump. It began right after the election, when a number of designers stated publicly, probably for the first time, certainly that I can remember, that they would not dress and the importance of the ceremony, that they do what they could to make it as powerful a statement about the United States as they could. Ralph Lauren look was that it so clearly channeled and referenced the inaugural look of Jacqueline Kennedy. You know, it was very 60s, it had a raised collar, her hair was done in a sort of bouffant updo, and she reached out to Ralph Lauren to make that dress because, you know, Mr. Lauren has most recently been very closely associated with Hillary Clinton. And in fact, Mrs. Clinton also wore Ralph Lauren to the swearing in. She wore a white trouser suit, which was very reminiscent of the white pantsuit she wore at the Democratic National Convention when she accepted the party's nomination. And, you know, it was clearly a nod to the suffragettes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donald J. Trump and the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump.
If you look at what Melania and Ivanka wore to the inaugural ball, it was actually really interesting because Ivanka was very much dressed in a kind of fairy princess mode. You know, she wore a sparkling gown by Carolina Herrera in what they're calling a champagne color, whereas Melania Trump, who reportedly had actually collaborated on her dress with the designer Hervé Pierre, a designer who's very much in the background, and this is his first major dress under his own name, chose something that was notably understated. There were no sparkles, there was no diamante, there was no kind of Aaron Spelling dynasty. It was quite architectural, and it actually looked very modern. And along with the fact that she wore her hair down, it made her look contemporary and also very much her own woman, which I think is underscored by her decision to stay in New York, you know, to the end of the school year. So it was an interesting choice on her part and did distinguish her from the rest of the family. The question is, how committed is the Trump family and the Trump team to using clothing as a communication device to add a dimension to their messaging, and also how visible, you know, Mrs. Trump or Ivanka Trump will be, because that's really what this is about. You know, it's not just like a dress. It is a symbol of what this family is going to try to do as they represent both the country and the administration. So your clothes really have to support, you know, your value system, whatever you are portraying your message as, because in an increasingly visual world, that is what most viewers are going on.